Hello, I am Jacob Hubbard, and I am a senior at Stuart Hall High School. Stuart Hall High School is located in San Francisco, California, but is attached to a large network of schools all around the world called the Schools of the Sacred Heart. While today the Schools of the Sacred Heart can be found all over the world, it actually got started in France by a woman named Madeleine Sophie Barra. Madeleine Sophie Barra grew up in Amiens, France, where she created the Society of the Sacred Heart. The main intention of the Society of the Sacred Heart was to create a way to give young women a good education. The society eventually grew and even went across the Atlantic Ocean to America, thanks to a woman named Rose Philippine Duchesne, who established a school named the Academy of the Sacred Heart in St. Charleston, Missouri in 1818. Stuart Hall is named after Janet Erskine Stuart, who was an important educator in the Society of the Sacred Heart. Nowadays, schools can be found all over the world, and even though the Schools of the Sacred Heart are located in different parts of the world, they all follow the same 5 goals and criteria. Of these 5 goals, I will be focusing on the first goal, which states Schools of the Sacred Heart commit themselves to educate to a personal and active faith in God. I did not know much about this goal until my senior year in my justice class. We wrote a journal about Goal 1, and I realized how important of a goal it was. The part of the goal that meant the most to me was the school seeks to inform its students in the attitudes of the heart of Jesus, expressed in respect, compassion, forgiveness, and generosity. Even if you are not religious, you can still connect with this part of Goal 1. Stuart Hall does a good job at teaching its students respect, compassion, forgiveness, and generosity. I personally connect with this when I go to my service internship. As a senior, every week I go to Rosa Parks Elementary School where I serve underprivileged kids. I work with them one-on-one, but sometimes I just walk around the classroom and help whoever needs it. Every time I go, I practice compassion, generosity, respect, and forgiveness. Besides Goal 1, I also serve these young children, which I believe reflects the attitude of the heart. Rachel Naomi Riemann says a server knows that he or she is being used and has a willingness to be used in the service of something greater, something essentially unknown. This connects to Goal 1 and to my service site at Rosa Parks. I do not go to the school as a fixer or a helper, but rather I serve the kids. I expect nothing in return. I just want to make sure they are getting the help they need. In the class I go to, many students have learning disabilities, but due to poor funding, they are mainstreamed into normal classrooms as the school cannot have separate classes for these kids. The teachers do all they can, but one teacher cannot possibly help all 30 kids in the class at the same time when each kid has different needs. I serve the kids with learning disabilities in hopes that they will be able to reach their full potential and learn as much as they can. This too reflects the attitude in the heart of Jesus by showing compassion, respect, and generosity to these kids. Another important part of Goal 1 for me is the school fosters interreligious acceptance and dialogue by educating to an understanding of and deep respect for the religions of the world. Stuart Hall has helped me gain a deeper respect for every religion, which is needed in life. I have learned more about every religion through my 4 years in theology and history classes and have grown to respect each religion for different reasons. Stuart Hall does a good job at bringing in kids from every religious background and inviting religious leaders to come speak to us. This deep respect for me is more than just religion, however, but a deep respect for people's financial and racial backgrounds as well. Rosa Parks is also filled with kids with many racial, religious, and financial backgrounds, and Goal 1 is necessary, especially in a school like Rosa Parks, where there are Christians, Muslims, Jews, and many religious backgrounds in the same class. The necessity is even recognized beyond Sacred Heart schools and is even reflected in the UN Declaration of Human Rights. Article 26 of the UN Declaration of Human Rights states, "Education shall be directed to the full development of the human personality and to the strengthening of respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms." It shall promote understanding, tolerance, and friendship amongst all nations, racial or religious groups, and shall further the activities of the United Nations for the maintenance of peace. Rosa Parks lives this, as every student does not judge the other for their financial, religious, or racial background, and has really shown me that Goal 1 should and could be universal. To advance as one human race, Goal 1 needs to be more prominent in teachings, not only in Sacred Heart schools, but in every school. The quicker we can understand that everyone deserves respect, no matter what their religious, racial, or financial background is, we can slowly start to remove the barriers that divide us. Stuart Hall has given me a strong foundation by teaching me Goal 1, and I will be able to go into the real world and be a man that respects others and follows in the steps of Jesus as I practice respect, compassion, forgiveness, and generosity.